Prophet Marcello Currents. So, this video is going to be about the American Christians, and the Americans that don't want America to end, and they don't want to come to terms with what's going on, and so you're gonna lose a lot of American Christians. What I noticed once this stuff happened with Venezuela, for all them weak politics and all them weak people that was out there, that all got blown away in the wind, and people seeing how serious it was. See, long as it was a game, long as it seemed like we was neck and neck with these people, everybody was cool with that. Even some of these Christians, they was even cool with it. But once it took off, now it's funny. You feel the energy and the difference. See, some Christians didn't expect us to win. They ain't, okay, it's a little something going on in the streets, you know what I'm saying? That part. It's just a little something going on in the streets. We'll talk about it as long as there's a little something going on in the streets, but once they turn up and Maduro's here in the borough, you feel the energy, you feel the difference. Cause listen, they can't control how far everybody knows it's out of control now. And what they expected was it for it to always be in control, and where they could understand what was gonna happen, and the only one that was suffering was you. And you know God ain't gonna have it like that. Where you the only one suffering and they playing this game. Now see, once other people start suffering, innocent people start suffering, which is part of their karma. Now people feel like that people should just chill. You know what I'm saying? They gonna feel like me and you should just chill. What you mean? That's my response. What you mean? What you mean? What you mean we should just chill? We doing exactly what we playing our position. We playing our position, bro. Just like anybody else would play their position. We playing our position. But see, when it got real, you see who wasn't really about that life, bro. You know what I'm saying? I had these intentions all along. You know what I'm saying? For this to turn on up, man, and for us to get on out of here and go to heaven. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people really, now you see people really, that wasn't really their intention. They ain't talking about it. It's like, oops, this is going a little too far. Yeah, but see, that lets you know they didn't really intend for it to go that far. But you supposed to be played with. You supposed to be the one that take all these blames and all of this stuff. You supposed to be the one that go through all this stuff. You know, you supposed to be the one that sit here and be played with like you Mickey Mouse or something. They cool with that. Even other Christians cool talking about what the enemy's doing, what they trying to do to you, and hang in there. But as soon as it take off and it's out of control and it really pop off, now they ain't really talking to you. Now people ain't really that cordial with you because see, they was playing riding the fence. That's how it is. And it's more than one person. It's more than one person. They was riding the fence. And then when it got real, they ain't with you. They ain't talking. They ain't talking no more because, see, it got way worse than they anticipated. That's what happened. It got way worse than they anticipated. It still went way farther than they anticipated. And I already knew that was going to happen. I already knew this was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I already knew. You know, you can't play with God's kingdom for free. For free. You can do it, but it ain't for free. It's not for free. I know that. Which means you're going to get a bill. You're going to get a great bill. You're going to get a heck of a bill. So, you know, see, you got the psychic network to think. All these people that think they hot stuff, think you so hot stuff, with all that psychic stuff, and you done played your position in destroying this country. Think they hot stuff and done messed up the country. You know what I'm saying? Should have stayed in your little lane. Should have stayed in your little Cleo psychic lane. You know what I'm saying? And we don't care about that. We don't care. We're aware of it, and we don't care nothing about it. It ain't gonna change the world. It's not gonna do that. It's not gonna be any. It ain't gonna any way change the geographics out here. And when you see people that's spiritual enough to change the geographics of the world, you gotta fall back. That's the difference between lions and whatever other animals is in the community. You know what I'm saying? A lion gonna change the community. You know what I'm saying? And it don't matter what you can do in the jungle. You gonna bow down to what the lion can do. If you see a lion stand up and change everything, you don't play with that lion. You don't play with that person. And because whatever you do spiritually, I'm talking about these psychics and telepaths and witchcraft people, whatever you do is not changing the environment. So just put two and two together. If God's people can change this environment, but you can't, but you got this little mind stuff, this little witchcraft, little foolishness stuff, who you think need to sit down and have a seat? Because we can change this whole community. And the little stuff you're doing, look, we gonna surround all of that. How y'all surrounded us, we gonna surround you with change. The change is gonna surround you. And it's already surrounding you. I told him, man, you should have been fell back long time ago. You should have been fell back long time ago. It's no need to even say sorry or apologize. It's way beyond that. It's on and popping. It's forward march. That's all I can tell you. Forward march. I mean, it don't matter how neat your little trick is. It don't matter how neat the stuff you do is. And if you can't change the environment, you gotta submit to the person that can. You got to. I don't care how cool it is. You could be able to fly. You can take wings and fly around. And if that can't change I'm talking about spiritually, right? If that can't change the environment, you can fly around, right? But if that can't change the environment, you're going to have to submit to the person that can change this environment. That's us. That's God's people. We change this environment. So it don't matter how cool the trick is. That's what I'm trying to show you. See, they gas themselves and get caught up in these tricks, right? And we going to change everything outside. And you're going to be sitting up here looking stupid, looking out the window. You're going to be looking out the window like a cat. You're going to be looking out the window like a cat, bruh. They going to be standing out there looking out the window like a cat. That's all I'm saying. Listen, and people will think you arrogant. And how else I supposed to say this? Especially considering the circumstances and the tone that's behind all that's going on anyway. I mean, how I supposed to say this? It ain't no nice way to tell you this. You know what I'm saying? You know, people hung up on the wrong things. It ain't no right way to tell you this. You know, people play with this community. They came out here with this little witchcraft foolishness, and I knew God was gonna body that. And now everybody looking stupid. You can tell. You can feel it. You can feel the stupidity. People feel stupid. You can feel that they feel stupid. I knew this was gonna happen. This is God, man. We not talking about. That's why I try to stress. That's why we was offended, because people are playing with God's kingdom. You can't do it. You know what I'm saying? And now, you know, you can't do it and live and get on a podcast and talk about you went against Christians. What was that? Was that your goal? To be like some OG rapper on talking about what you went through? Your goal was to be like some OG rapper talking about you going against me and Christians, wasn't it? That was your goal. You wanted to be an OG out there talking like somebody like you such an OG and everybody gonna pick your brain like an OG. Man, come on, bro. Do you think anybody gonna do that now, knowing you was the reason why all this happened? They not picking your brain. They not trying to. I been knew what was going on. I just played my position exactly how I was supposed to play it. I let all these people do what they want to do. I stay to myself. I play my position. I play it very well. I played my position very well. I stayed in my lane. I literally stayed in my lane, going back and forth, doing what I was doing, fasting, everything like that. That's how you know I was in my lane, because I was fasting. I'm fasting too much. That's how you know I'm in my lane. All the fasting I'm doing, I ain't in my lane and I'm fasting. How I'm in the street, I'm in the street lane, but I'm fasting. I'm a prophet. I'm supposed to talk. I'm supposed to do all the talking. That's what a prophet does. The prophet do all the talking. You thought I would see, you don't know, you didn't know who I was, and I expressed it more than enough and more than one time. And people goofy on goofy time, and here we are. I told people, we gonna turn the corner, and the America you once knew is like driving a car. Like you're driving a car, you're gonna turn the corner as if familiar with the next turn or the next street, and expecting certain things to be there, and you're gonna turn that corner as a community, and there's nothing gonna be there. Nothing's gonna be there no more. Like you turn in the corner and you're gonna look to see all America and what it was. All that's gonna be gone. It's already happening. You can't tell me this is normal progression or degression. Like this is just normal stuff. No, it ain't. Everybody know this ain't normal. For all this to be happening in the time frame that's happening, this ain't normal. And the bad thing about it is, we all gotta suffer because of ignorant people. I really truly believe that they sped up the last days. I know God's coming back. I know Jesus Christ the Messiah is coming back. But I believe these people use their free will to gain stalk, and God just shut down the community. And that's what nobody want to say. You know what I'm saying? That these people sped up the last days, playing with all of us, playing with Christians. They sped it up, and now it's over. And now, so we all gotta suffer that. Now the world is different because of these idiots, man. That's what that's what makes me hate it the most. We all gotta go. Either way it go, man, we all gotta suffer because of these people, man. We do. Because the world is ending. I mean, so whatever little dreams and every little thing that we wanted to do one last time, you want to get married one last time, I don't know about all that now. Even for me, I don't know all about that. I don't know, really. I don't know. See, it's other things we wanted to do too. Now we might not be able to do it. Getting married, I don't know. Having me another woman, I don't know. Because this stuff is turned up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and every day is some new surprise. Every day something else going on. I mean, the latest thing is that woman got killed in the ICE situation with the ICE agents. This white woman, I just was sure it was a Latino woman. I mean, I just considered that without seeing the situation. I thought it was them hounding out a Hispanic or Latino woman, them trying to get a Latino woman or a Hispanic woman, but she was a white woman. And everything, and these police, I mean, these ICE people, I see they move like the police, man. Basically, that's why people hate them. They move just like the police. And when I look at that footage, to me, it's almost like retaliation, trying to get you. That's how they act, That's how the police act. Like you wonder if were their life in danger, or did they just want to kill you, or did they just want to get the last word, so to speak? You know what I mean? Or did they just want to get one up on you? That's what I challenge people to look at. Did they just want to get one up on this woman because she was riding off? Because that's not really a reason to shoot somebody. If you could jump out the way, you don't supposed to discharge your weapon. I don't feel that way. You could say they was trying to hit her, but at the same time, she was trying to hit them, but she was trying to leave. Okay, so we know that. She was trying to drive off. Pretty sure she was trying to drive off. Okay, so if you look at the whole video, do you conclude she was trying to hit the people or was she trying to drive off? In that circumstance, it looked like she was trying to drive off because they was already trying to open the door on the woman. Okay, so that you can definitely tell she was trying to drive off. You could clearly see that. That was the whole altercation. That was the whole situation. She was trying to drive off because these people were telling her to move on or whatever. And it was weird after they telling her, from my understanding, to move on or drive off, that they were trying to open the door. See how they be approaching people like that? That's funny especially for a female. You start trying to grab the door and open the door. Yeah, that is funny. That's a funny approach. We should have heard their voices screaming at this woman, giving her commands. That would have been better, and she might have stopped. But opening the door, trying to open the door, that's like a criminal. That'll make a person feel like they in the hands of a criminal. That's something a criminal would do. Start trying to open the door. That's real. A female gonna feel apprehensive about that, like they in the hands of a criminal. You start trying to open the door. But man, yeah, man. When I seen the footage, it looked like he was on the corner edge of the car, right in front of her, and they took advantage of the technicality that he was in front of the car. He put himself in front of the car, and the smart cop knows in that position, if you try to move forward, he has the right to shoot you. Knowing he's in your way and knowing you gonna move forward. So, but if you make that move, he can just discharge his weapon and say you was trying to hit him. Or was he in front of the car? That's a big difference. You being in front of the car and me trying to hit you is two different things. No, that's real. That's two different psychologies. Now, if I went out my way to hit you, it would be different. You know what I'm saying? It would be different. I feel he was in front of the car. Okay, so I gotta move forward. And if you're smart, you're not gonna put that person in that situation where put yourself in that situation where they might drive forward and hit you without trying to kill, when the intention wasn't to kill you, and now you got to discharge your weapon because you put them in that situation. So a wise cop is going to say, okay, I know this person might not necessarily be trying to hit me, and I don't want to discharge my weapon, so I ain't going to put them in that situation. I ain't going to put myself in this situation. So I ain't going to stand in front of no car. See, that's a move. That's like almost like a move that a dirty cop would make. If I know I stand in front of your car, I know if you technically, you mash the acceleration, I can say you hit me. I can say you was trying to hit me. But look at it for what it is. He stood in front of the car and he knew his next move could be, she ain't gonna get away because I can discharge my weapon saying she was trying to shoot while she was trying to hit me. That's why I can't stand the police, man. It's for more than one reason. It's not just because they uphold the law. It's actually the contradiction. That's why people hate them. It's the contradictions. If you just doing the right thing, people ain't gonna really hate you. They gonna know they doing wrong and who you are. But a lot of people hate the police and people like them because of this behavior. They don't know how to be a machine and come on a job like soldiers don't. Soldiers are not really like this. Soldiers come and do a job like a machine. Police don't act like machines and come do the job. They got their personality, they got their reasons for what they do. That's why you gotta have investigation and see why they did this and all of this and why they did that. Because they come with their heart on their sleeve and take stuff personal. And nobody don't care nothing about them agents. But you would take it, they'll take it personal like something it was applied to them personally. Nobody don't care nothing about them, man. No. But that's how they act. They take stuff personal. Think about it. They do. He should have never stood in front of the car. That's how I look at it. No, you should have gave commands from the side of the car, right where you was trying to open the door. You should have had commands right there, and you should have kept giving commands. If she drove off, you should have gave chase in your vehicle. That's what you should have did. That's how you should have did it. Cornered her off in her vehicle and stuff like that without discharging your weapon. You see what I'm saying? Don't stand in front of the car and then talk about somebody was trying to hit you. That's assaulting my intelligence. Because I know cops is already ready to make that move. Think about it. They already know they have the right to do that. Me and you really don't know. But they know. And they're going to be quick to do it and make that move where they know you can't do nothing. Because if you try to accelerate, I can shoot you. I can shoot you if you accelerate, saying you tried to hit me. That's just like somebody could stand in front of a car and say you tried to kill them. Or did I just accelerate, trying to get past you? But you stood in front of the car like as if you drive forward, you're gonna be charged for murder. You're gonna be charged for vehicular manslaughter. It's like, man, people play games of technicalities. I think either way it goes, if she would have tried to get away, they would have tried to kill her. If she would have reversed back, they would have tried to kill her too. That's crazy, man. That's why, man, they protesting. That's why I don't trust the cops. I do not. No, I don't trust no American cops, no American police. Nope. I'm Pacific American police. I do not. And that's why we can't stand them people. And the ICE act just like running around. They worse. It's like a whole group of bad cops almost. That's really how it's coming off. It's like this whole group of bad cops. Ugh. That's why everybody hate them. It's the end. It's the last. So much has been done. You know, once so much has been done, man, most people are cool with it being the end. That's basically it. And the only people that's not cool with it trying to be the end is people that haven't come to terms with it. You know, they got stuff they want to do in their life. They got money. They're doing good in their life. See, they ain't gonna want it to be the end. They got food. They can do whatever they want to do. See, that's gonna be a lot of white Americans. I'm just keeping 100. They got a good life. They can order food whenever they want to. They can do DoorDash. They can do Grubhub. You know what I'm saying? They can get all these chips and dip and cookies and all this. They can be cool. You barely get through the money on your EBT. I'm not saying you're suicidal, but you know what I'm saying? You really don't care if this goes on or not, because you're not really living life like you really want to, or like a human being should in a country like this. You know, that's why as a black person, you need to understand communism. Communism, they're gonna demonize communism to an ignorant person. Communism is where the wealth is, in a nutshell, the wealth is evenly dispersed. Where if we got a rich country like this, most of us are going to be good as far as food and off the streets and things like that. Communism taxes the rich. Communism makes people who have money help the rest of the community. See, I learned, you know what I'm saying? Black people, we stay ignorant about communism. The white man tell you communism is bad in Russia and all these other places. But when you study communism yourself, oh, I didn't know that. You form your own black opinion. My black opinion. I form my own black. I'm a reason differently than these other people. Because the white man, you know, he got his own money. He don't want nobody to have it in America. He don't want to share none of his money. That's why he don't like communism. You are black. You need these people to be giving you some of that money. Communism says, okay, you know, we gonna disperse the money evenly among the community. That's basically it. But they demonize it, and they gonna add other stuff to it, and what you know, and what they do, and all these other laws. Nah, we talking about the foundation. We can critique it later. We can critique all these other things later. But the foundation for communism basically is the government disperses the wealth of a community evenly, and if these rich people, these superstars, got money, they gonna have to give money to the standing government to help the rest of the community. They ain't gonna be able to sit up and eat chips and everything like that. And people starving right on the block. So in actuality, man, in a nutshell, communism is equality. It's dispersing everything in equality. So you can critique it based on that. You can critique it. You don't got to keep the same exact style of communism. Communism can be progressive. And then, and you know, come on, let's not be one-track minded. Because you talking about the type of communism that was. Let's critique the worldview that we can take this money, all this money that this country got, and disperse it evenly where everyone lives decently. Because if the more money you got as a country, I mean, we'll all be living pretty decently. But if I just let this guy over here just pile up money, and I ain't talking about just rock stars and superstars, just these white fat cats that's in this country, just pile these no-name fat cats that we don't know that got billions of dollars. They can just sit up and just pile up money. See, an American gonna say, well, he worked for it. He earned that. That's what they gonna say. He doesn't have to acknowledge the rest of the humanity. Why should he have to acknowledge it? Well, that's not his problem. That's the government's problem. That's how he gonna look at it. I took my talent and I did whatever. The bottom line is, communism says whether you earned it or not, fair and square. We think humanity is more important. In fact, we gave you a platform to do that, to get the money. So you don't think you should give us a little something? Being that you wouldn't even have anything without us. I mean, not this platform that we've given you in America. We've given you a platform to do all of this stuff. And come on, it's just give and take. That's the relationship in the world. It's all give and take. And the give and take relationship between me and you is not that good, is it? If you could just pile up this money, and then we the ones that gotta hand out EBT, we gotta hand out food stamps, we gotta take care of the community. The government is barely able to do it. Now you see what I'm saying. If you had a progressive communism, you wouldn't have to worry about EBT and all, almost, gritting your teeth, biting your nails, don't know if EBT gonna be on in the next 5 months. We don't know. We still don't know. If you got communism, you would never be in the danger zone like that. You'll never be sitting back waiting to eat. and your food stamps didn't hit. You ain't gonna be doing that with communism. Communism is gonna take all the money and spread it out evenly. And also they're gonna be taxing all these no-name, I'm talking about, this is key terms, no-name rich people that we don't know. You don't know them. You don't know them. You see them on the internet all the time now. Rich people we don't even know. Some of them own these businesses and organizations and restaurants, and they CEOs of all these restaurants, but you still really don't know them. You can't put a name with a face and a face with a name or whatever, you know, or with a position or whatever. And but they got all kind of money. Am I hating on it? No. I mean, but how I look at it is I'm starting to look at it in how communism is. Humanity, besides whatever you earned it or whatever, you don't think we should look at humanity first and what they need, and we just give you a pass, but we don't care about what humanity is going through. We just gonna let you go. You did all of that yourself. You did everything yourself. So we just gonna look at that. We just gonna look at that and say, nah, you know, we'll just let you go. We ain't gonna think about humanity. We ain't gonna prioritize humanity in this situation because you earned it, and you know, we're just gonna look at that. We're gonna prioritize that first. But you're in a society that gave you that opportunity, and it should be a reasonable mindset that, okay, these same poor people have been also, look at this, they've been buying your clothes, they've been buying your products, they've been buying your music, they've been buying everything you got, and you can see people that spend their last dollar on a little Gucci shirt or a Louis Vuitton hat or something, and they done spent or a purse or whatever, they done spent their last dollar on that. You don't think you should give back to these people who spend their last dollar? Because a lot of time it ain't just these rich people. It's these people that just want to look like the fashion that's buying all this stuff. A lot of time rich people don't even wear certain brands. They don't wear it. They go and promote brands we don't even know. Up and coming brands. They get paid to promote up and coming brands. And so you don't see no rich people wearing Louis or Gucci. They gonna promote a brand and get paid to promote a brand and get money. What would you do? You gonna wear all these flashy little stuff that's everybody's wearing on top of that? Or are you gonna get money promoting these brands like, oh, what's that? You're a walking promotion billboard for other brands. You're gonna be a walking billboard for other brands, and you're gonna get paid for it. You're gonna mention these up and coming brands and get paid for it. So that's a lot of rich people. That's what they're doing. They're promoting these up and coming brands and getting paid for it. It's these other people that's spending money on this stuff. It's these people that barely can do it. They're trying to wear the status symbols. These brands that look like status symbols tell you what level of status they on, wearing all this Louis and Gucci and all of that, right? They want to look like they got it. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be the main people, and they don't got it. Most rich people ain't wearing no Gucci. I'm just telling you, not now. I wouldn't think so. It gotta be something that's not obvious Gucci. Like you ain't even really know it was Gucci. You ain't really know it was Louis Vuitton. You ain't really know. That kind of stuff. They might wear something like that, but just the obvious, that's people out here trying to look, you know, you look like you look like you've been wrapped in Gucci. You ain't gonna find no rich person look like they've been wrapped in Gucci, bro. Some people look like they wrapped in Louis Vuitton. That's not gonna be a rich guy. You ain't gonna see a billionaire looking like he wrapped in Gucci, bro. Think about it. It's these other people trying to make it. It's these other people trying to fake it and trying to get in these other circles wearing that kind of stuff. That's a whole group of people, and they really don't got it. But they spending their last dime. So you don't think those people should be helped a little more? I'm not saying they totally innocent. I don't think you should do it. But let's just look at it for what it is at face value. You don't think them people should be helped a little more? They're actually supporting you and buying that stuff. It's not the rich people. They ain't gonna do it. They gonna get tired of it anyway. They gonna go with brands that nobody else, and more expensive brands that we don't even know about. They gonna go with that. Think about it. You was wearing Louis when you first came up, when you was trying to get rich. That's most of these people. They was wearing, you know, Gucci when they was first coming up. So they done. They been there and done that. They got the shirt. They got the pictures of all the Gucci stuff they were wearing. You gonna get richer and wear Gucci? No, you're not. You gonna start wearing all these other things you're getting introduced to. Oh man, I like that. I like that. I like that. Oh, that's cool. You gonna get out of reach. You gonna go higher to be more out of sight. You know. Like they ain't wearing this. They can't get this. I'm the only one wearing that. Then you start rubbing shoulders with these people. Now you wearing stuff that nobody else ain't even wearing. Nah, you can't get, listen, you ain't gonna find this online. Nah, you ain't gonna find that jacket online, but you can go ahead and try. You can go ahead and try. You ain't gonna find these shoes online. You can go ahead and try. That's a rich person. That's how they gonna talk. You can go ahead and try. You ain't gonna find this. You ain't gonna find that. You ain't gonna find the colors. You ain't even gonna find the colors I'm wearing. You ain't gonna go ahead, try. We gonna put it side by side. In the shades I got, the shades you got. Listen, I guarantee you ain't gonna find this color. Because the rich brands, they be using different kind of shades too. Think about it. Oh, man, I know that. I'm smart enough to know that. They gonna use certain colors that you can't even get on the average market of clothes. That's just common sense. Where you can't even get certain colors. And then when you try, you're not gonna get exactly. You ain't gonna get exactly the shade. Yeah, man. You definitely ain't gonna get exactly the material of the shade. You might get the shade, you ain't gonna get the material. That expensive material, you ain't gonna get that. That's how they gonna break it down too. See, that's their kind of conversation. They gonna sit back and talk like that. Yeah, you ain't gonna get this color, buddy. You ain't gonna get that material. Oh, you can get the color. You might get the color. You might luck up, but you ain't gonna get the material. So it ain't gonna be in the same material. That's the kind of talk they sit around and talk about. But to me, do I feel like I want to hate on their success? Nah. Communism just puts humanity first. Because after all, you wouldn't even have this opportunity if America didn't give you a platform to do it. So that's your contribution back to society and humanity, the humanity that allowed you to do it. So you're gonna look out for that whole community. That's how it's supposed to be. Instead of you crying to these leaders to give back, communism is gonna make them give back. Y'all people crying and all you doing is angering these people. Listen, I ain't gonna tell them to give back. I talk about communism. Cause man, ain't nobody gonna do that. These rich white girls ain't giving you nothing. I have some peanut butter. I don't have any money. You ever seen a white girl, a rich white girl gonna say, I don't have any money. I don't have any dollars. You need something to eat? I don't have any dollars. I only have a card. And sometimes they do. I only had a card, okay? And they're not gonna go as far as to go to ATM. Now, a good white girl would. I can go to the ATM. How much you need? How much you want? What you trying to do? Halfway tipsy. What you trying to do? You want? Okay. You trying to go to Chipotle? Chipotle's like 2 blocks up. Okay. I can give you enough to go to Chipotle, right? You know, I'm gonna trust you to go. I'll be back. I'm gonna be back. She give you like $40 to go to Chipotle. Right? You spend $20 and get a cheap bowl and you get alcohol. She see you with a pint of alcohol, a pack of cigarette. You get some Lucy's and everything. You got a little bowl. Now you ain't gonna get no money from her again. Some rich girls will say, listen, I don't have any money. I don't have no cash. I literally only have a card. I can come back and bring you a loaf of bread and some peanut butter and some jelly. Would that be cool? You got them tight. And that's all you're gonna get off some of these white girls. Do I feel like I used to feel, okay, what you earned is what you earned. I agree with that. But you can't deny that humanity trumps over even what you earned in this community. Humanity is still more important than the principle of you earned it. It's still more important than the principle that you earned it. So like, progressive communism, I don't know, man. When I studied it for myself and I didn't run from it and I didn't allow America to tell me what it is and I went and searched it out for myself, see, that's what you got to do. Man, I'm starting not to agree with nothing these white people told me. I'm going to go back and look at it for myself because, see, based on that, I mean, can you imagine a white man wanting to do that? A rich white guy? Well, he got to disperse his wealth. He the main one. He the main one stopped it. He don't want to give nobody none of the money he made. Come on, that's common sense. You as a black guy, you might think about it. Because you feel, you have compassion for your own community. Your community is the one in poverty. So you might be more inclined to think like that before he does. Hell gonna freeze over before he thinks like that. You might think, okay, well, my community is going through, my people, and how can I really help them? How can I really go down there every single time and help everybody everywhere, all in America, all black people? How can I do it? I can't do it. But if we have this system that does it, it helps me from having to physically do it anyway. Now I don't have to physically do this. It's getting taken off the top. You see what I'm saying? And then all we got to do is critique it where it's within reason. You're still going to be rich. See, America could have did it where the rich still could be rich. And we still disperse the money. That's how greedy this country is. You still could be rich. You still could be doing all the stuff you're doing. In this country, yeah. Communism will work in America where you still could be rich and these people and people on the street still get what they need. You don't agree with that? I do. Look at all these rich people. We could have enough money for them to get rich and still disperse to the community. That's America now. That's not every country. But communism in America, the rich still could be rich. That's how much money it is. You would still be living within a rich lifestyle while we're dispersing the wealth to the community, to where at least at minimum nobody's on the streets like these other clean countries, where if they want to live in a room all their life, and then knock yourself out, bro. On principle, I'm just gonna get you off the streets as a human being. If you want to live in this room all your life, listen, hey buddy, listen. If you're a healthy human being, you're gonna get tired of it eventually. Maybe you need some rest. Maybe you need to rest. A lot of homeless people need rest. They soul need to rest. You need to rest for 3 years, 5 years. You wouldn't understand, man. Some people need rest for 3 to 5 years unbothered. You say, oh, that's unreasonable. Okay, be on the streets, running around back and forth all the time. And throw in a couple vices, a couple shipwrecks, a couple bad relationships, a couple of, the elements, sleeping in the elements and all of that. You need it you need rest for more than one reason, not just physically, also psychologically. You need rest for your soul. You need psychological rest where you are unbothered for a long time. This is what happens if you was in the elements 24/7. The last thing you want to do, the last thing a homeless person want to do is go right back out there. That's why I don't go out. Why I want to go out? I've been in the elements 24/7. Cars and everything. I just came from out there. Why would I want to go back out there? So some people need rest. That's what they need, bro. And you gotta be reasonable. You wouldn't know because you're not homeless. They need rest. And society in America doesn't allow you to get the rest that you need. They tell you once you get an apartment, you gotta go to work. Now tell a homeless man that he's discouraged already. He needs rest. He needs to be unbothered. It's like bringing a person back to life. And you thought just getting him off the street was bringing him back to life. Nope. Now you get it. He needs rest for his soul for, I would say, about 3 or 5 years. Now, if he's healthy, after those 3 or 5 years of rest, then if he's a healthy person, he gonna get tired of it. Now he gonna want to go out a little bit, but because he don't rest it, now what he was deprived of, he got it right. Now he want to go back out there, meet people, meet him a woman, shave good, He gonna have time to think about himself, soul search, think about his bad mistakes, think about his life. He gonna have time to do all of that.
Think about it. This is a human being. Stop thinking about a position of what this human being should do. Think about the human being regardless of what he did, right or wrong. Okay? Now, he needs time to come to himself. Real men know what I'm talking about. He needs time to think about all his life and his stories, everything he done, everything. And eventually, okay, he feel good, you know. He might shave, he might not shave. He might keep his beard, but you get the point. Okay, you get clean, you get shaved, you know what I'm saying? Now he thinking about a woman, you know. He done got healthy. Let's just consider he's in a reasonable age bracket, you know what I'm saying? He's just he barely middle age, you know, and now, you know, now he want to go back out there. But he ain't going to want to get right back out there, meet no woman. He just got off the streets. I don't even want to do it right now. I need to get myself together. I need to get myself together where I'm on my own. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, so a lot of people don't look at humanity as it is. Some people are not sick, but their situation is sick. If that makes sense. And so everybody's not in the same condition. Just like a hospital, you got somebody just came from the streets. That's not necessarily a sick person, but they need rest. And then they come into a shelter and they still got to deal with drama. They still got to deal with player haters and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? And this person just came from the streets. That's what I'm saying. The corny people, man, because that's how I know who live in the reality or not. They can't talk about it. They can't talk about these things I'm talking about. They can't. You might not even find some black people that talk about a homeless man needing rest, soul rest for his soul, after being out there in the elements all them years, after being out there in the elements all this time. You know, so you know, that's why I don't crack no whip on nobody back and say you need to be working. I could easily say that. That's a normal response of a man. Is, oh, if you work, everything gonna work out. If you just applied yourself a little more, you know what I'm saying, life will be great for you. It's a little more complicated as a black man. I tell you that. It's a little more complicated here in America, because I can show you people that worked and did everything they needed to do, and they still got killed. Like the last case was the people that worked at the Dollar Tree or the Dollar General. You know which one? I think it was Dollar Tree. 2 black people got killed in 2024. Like I think sometime in the summertime, like between July and August. You can look it up. And these was 2 black people just working, doing what they society expect them to do. That wasn't good enough. So even when you tell people to work, for the black man, it's a little more complicated. He can work and still have to deal with some random racist, maybe a manager even. I done been through it. You get the job, you do whatever you're supposed to, you do with your society. See, that's the part that hasn't been addressed. I can do all I need to do as a black man, and it's gonna be more complicated than the white American, my counterparts. It's gonna be more complicated than my counterparts. So you know, this is the part that we expect people to just tough through. That kind of attitude, especially as men, we just expect you to, but they ain't going through it. White counterparts ain't going through it. They ain't going through that. They ain't got to go out here and worried about racism with the managers and all of that. That's an element that a white man don't got to deal with. He don't know nothing about that. Let's keep it 100. Whether they on our side or not, he don't know nothing about going on the job. I do. I know about going on the job, and the manager is racist. You're told from day one, the day you got hired, the day I got hired, I was told the manager was racist. From day one. I worked for one manager, this one guy, on one side of town, and then I was living with a woman on another side of town. So just so happened he worked on that side of town now. And so I worked for him more, obviously, before. And he hired me back, but when he hired me, he didn't work. I didn't just work for him. I worked for this racist white guy also, and he told me from day one, this dude is racist. And I went through all kind of hell dealing with this dude to the very end of that job. And he told me from day one he was racist. This is North Carolina. That's why I try to tell you, man, like some black people up here, you ain't gonna go through that. You ain't gonna go through that like that. You get a job down in North Carolina, You know what I'm saying? You might find some racist manager that lives in another county, even if it's Charlotte, but he drives to Charlotte. This dude drove to Charlotte. He didn't live in Charlotte, but he worked in Charlotte. Especially a manager, they'll drive to get that money in Charlotte. The white racist people will drive to get that money. And you might wind up working for one of them racist white people right there in Charlotte. Way worse than anything you experience here in New York. So you got some black people you ain't never been on no job and the dude was racist. And you were told from day one he was racist. So what people don't come to terms with is that, it's never gonna be equal. It's never gonna be equal. That's coming from me, from a man from North Carolina, from the South. It ain't gonna ever be equal. Especially looking at the time we got left. That's history. That's history. It's over. It's all history. Like I said, I don't know how much time we got left. I know it ain't gonna be equal. I know they fighting right now to try to be on top of everybody. And that's how it is. It's a mentality of halfway ownership and halfway white supremacy, knowing they own this country, but at the same time, it's white supremacy also. Or you could say American supremacy, which is America above everybody, other countries, and they're proving that now. It's beyond white supremacy. It's also American supremacy, going and dismantling a whole nother country, usurping of a whole nother authority. That's American supremacy. And like I've taught before, American supremacy, which is a country, which is America above all other countries as a mentality, this is also tainted with white supremacy. This is also tainted with white supremacy. This is why he will go from being a white supremacist to an American supremacy, where the same mentality where white people are above everybody, he goes and put that same mentality in American supremacy, where America is above everybody. That's what's going on right now. And if you think I'm just butthurt or bitter, I'm telling you, I've seen these white people. I've worked for racist white people. So that's why, people from the South is a little more passionate about this, because, we got more of a reality of it, you know what I'm saying? And as opposed to, you might be thinking, well, this is kind of out of touch conversation. For who? It ain't never an out of touch conversation for a black man. See, but it is for a white man. He ain't been through nothing. He can go on a job and skip it into the job and work with these jobs for 5-10 years. That's why they talk about your instability at these job sites, but because they can't relate to it, because they can go on a job for 5 or 8 years. Skipper can go on a job for 8 years. Unbothered, unpersecuted, unchallenged. Get all kind of positions. You've always had it harder. That's the truth. A black man gonna tell you, I've always had it harder than these white folks. Even up until now, I've always had it harder than my white counterparts. And they not acknowledging that for what it is. So a black man don't have no problem with communism, spreading the wealth all around. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have a problem with getting homeless people off the streets, even if they don't want to work. See, America is designed where if you don't work, we ain't gonna help you. We'll just leave you out there in the streets. We'll leave you homeless. Unless you got a disease or something, we ain't giving you no place to live. You gotta have something wrong with you. That's how they are. But we ain't gonna get you off the street because of you on the strength of you being a human, right? But we'll get an animal, we'll get a cat off the streets before we get you off the streets. Because we feel like that cat can't help itself, but you can. You can help yourself, but that cat can't help itself. So I take that cat in before I take you in. Some white people will tell you that. I got a house right now, but I wouldn't dare take you there. I take that cat over there that can't fend for itself. I'll get that cat off the street before I get you off the street. That's their mentality. This extreme mentality of work, where I'll leave you out here if you ain't working. I'll leave you right out here. And that's going to be your punishment. I'm going to teach you. You're going to get taught what to do because of this. This is going to teach you what to do. If you gonna go, we gonna let you spin your wheels out here long enough. We gonna let you spin your wheels out here long enough to you don't want no more of being on the streets, and you willing to work. See, that's how they try to think they gonna train you, and it still don't work. It don't work. That method don't work. That's what they doing. They think if we give them a place to stay, they ain't gonna never be productive. Other people gonna say they ain't gonna never work for us. If we just hand it to him, if we just hand him a place to stay, he ain't gonna work for us. And if everybody was rich, then who gonna work at McDonald's? I mean, it's different now. You can get AI and all of that. But back in the day, if I make you all rich, who's gonna play this slave? Who's gonna work at McDonald's? So you could say there's a type of manipulation so that people do these little jobs out here, because you ain't gonna do it if you're rich. If we disperse the wealth evenly with communism, progressive communism, you ain't gonna come out here and get out your bed and do a 9 to 5. No, you not. You ain't gonna do no 9 to 5. And you rich? No. So if you're rich, you ain't gonna work. That's common sense. The average person, if they get rich, what they gonna do? The average person, if you just give them a good foundation of a place to live, what they gonna do? They gonna lay up in that apartment for the rest of their life. But good humanity don't care. Hey, if that's what you want to do, listen. I'm just exercising good humanity. I'm exercising good humanity. I'm gonna get you off the streets. You can be in here. You can get your little food, whatever. I'm just practicing good humanity. That's all I'm doing. If you want to lay here all day and all your life as a man, I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna get tired of it eventually. And then you're gonna be glad. You're gonna thank me, because once I let you have that, you realize you actually do want to be a functioning person in society if you're healthy. Now you really do want to get out there and do stuff. All you needed was enough time to rest. That's all it was. Once you rest, now I do want to be a functioning person. I do want to get out there. Now you start to feel that feeling. But you ain't gonna feel that initially. No, you hurt. You're bruised from life. You're barely off the vices that kept you alive. Why drugs keep some people alive. That you don't want to hear that, but that's the truth. It's almost an oxymoron. For some people, it keeps people alive. If they wasn't doing drugs, they'd be dead. It's a slow kill for some people. That's something that ain't addressed. It's a slow kill for some people, man. Instead of killing themselves, I'll just get on drugs. Because I don't have the balls to kill myself. So I'll just get on a drug. I'll just choose a new vice. And then through that, I have some type of satisfaction. I meet a couple good friends. And now life isn't as bad as I once thought it was. But I'm going to still keep this vice going. I'm going to still keep this vice going. Right? And so drugs keep some people alive. If you're in poverty, think about it. If you didn't have that drug, you'd be dead. You want to die. You ain't got no money. You ain't got. See, people don't look at it like that. Why they get drunk all the time? To escape reality. That's something that white people, a lot of white Americans don't understand. You drink to party. You want to party, don't you? Some people are not getting high to party. They're not getting high to party, buddy. They're getting high to escape reality. Where we're doing the same thing. No, you're not. You're getting high to party. You're going to party and you're going to get high and have sex. This guy over here, is not going to get high and have sex. He's just going to get high to escape reality. You're going to get high and go party. So I can even show you how white people even use drugs for different reasons. They get high for different reasons. They get high and want to have sex with 2 or 3 people. Black guy gets high just to get by. He gets high to just cope and just get to let the days go a little faster. He gets drunk so the days go a little faster. You wouldn't understand, would you? Now, I'm not saying, come on, don't take it to the extreme. I'm not talking about no white person understands. I mean, come on. That's you now insulting my intelligence. That's you being so smart you stupid. Now, but you know what I mean? There's a lot of people on the average that's black that's trying to escape, Hispanic or Latino, trying to escape this reality that they live in. And while you say, well, if everybody just worked, it'll be good. No, it wouldn't. You know why? Because everybody can't work in America. You don't know that? There's not enough jobs for every person in this country. It's not. So if everybody applied themselves, it wouldn't be enough jobs. That's spooky, right? Okay, so then what we doing as a community? What we should have been doing is making enough jobs for every citizen. That has not been accomplished. That has not been accomplished. There's not enough jobs for every person that's here. Now add in the immigrants and the legal add in the illegal immigrants on top of that. All the people not accounted for it. Add them to that. Where it's just not enough jobs for everybody. And they just made it worse. Okay? There's not enough jobs. This is what the ignorant white person has not understood. They ride past you talking about, oh, get a job. Them type, roll up their window, get a job. You almost want to fight them. They don't ride, sped off, get a job. Right? But what they don't know, because they so out of touch, it's not because listen, they choose the mentality of their government. There's not enough jobs for every human being here. So while you complaining about people not applying themselves, it's not realistic for everybody to apply themselves. It's not realistic for everyone here to apply themselves. They can't, because it's not enough jobs. So then what is the reality here? The reality here is it's nothing different than any other field in America. They want the pick of the litter, and the truth is they don't care about everybody working. Because they don't want everybody working. They just want the pick of the litter, the best people. Just like in the music industry, in the acting, actresses, all that kind of stuff, all these entertainment fields, sports. They just want they want people that make the cut. That's it. And that's even here in America in life. If you don't make the cut, oh well, just go out there and panhandle for the rest of your life. Just go out there and panhandle. You know, you didn't make the cut. You don't think some people are like that and don't think like that? They think like that with every other field in America. You make the cut or you don't. That's what it is. They don't want. Well, explain to me why there's not enough jobs in the greatest country in the world for every citizen here. Because they don't care about everybody working. They would have prioritized it with every administration that we are going to make sure that we maximize the potential of the workforce where everybody is working, where we create all jobs, different type of jobs for everybody to be working. We're going to maximize this workforce to where we create jobs. We're going to go put pressure on these job sites to make more jobs. Because what you'll find on the average American job, there's more room for the average job to have more openings at that same job. It's just somebody being greedy, that they don't want to pay other people. They want you to work real hard. Instead of working real hard, they should have a job for every person. But that ain't the American way. They don't want you just coming in there and barely working just for you to get a check. They don't want everybody just humdrum, just kind of cool. They want to put a nice load on your back. They want you to have a nice load of working before they give you that paycheck. Well, no, we don't want all these people here because it's too many people here. Ain't nobody gonna be doing nothing. And they really will say that to your face. If we hire 2 or 3 more people, I mean, what they gonna be doing? They're going to be maintaining a work site like it should be. Like a well-oiled machine, instead of everybody having these oversized loads on their back, running around like a chicken with their head cuts off. Okay? You're gonna have a decent load on your back, not like a chicken with his head cut off. You're gonna have a decent enough evened out load at the job, at the average job site, at any job, to where we're just a well-oiled machine together. It's not this one person that's a well-oiled machine. You can go to any job site, I'm talking about any job site, restaurants and everything, and I promise you I can find a job. I can look at that, I can watch all the workforce. I can watch that whole job site, and I can find an opening that a person could be doing this. A person could be doing that. That's slipping right there. Okay. Well, he gets it later. Now, I'm not talking about getting it later. I'm talking about that could be a job opening for somebody. The manager's gonna say, well, he gets it later, about 6. About 6 p.m. he goes around and do that. You know what I'm talking about. He makes his rounds over there about 6. No, we can create a job opening right there where he don't have to make no rounds around 6 because somebody else could be doing that. That's all I'm saying. And if you go to any job, the average job, I guarantee you, if you pay attention, you can find a job opening that somebody could be doing to make that whole job site go easier. America don't look at it like that. The one that owned the business, he want to pay as less people as possible. It's greed everywhere. Think about it. This guy, well, I don't want to pay 5 people. Shoot, I just pay me about 2 or 3 people. And really, that money ain't even hurt them. That's what makes it so bad. They looking at how to accumulate over time. You know what these greedy people gonna do? How much money is that gonna be in a year? That if I pay 2 or 3 more people, how much more money is that gonna be a year? And they think about what they could do with that money. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about, buddy. And basically, that sums it up. These rich people gonna look and say, well, I don't want to hire all these people. How much money is that for the year? Oh, that's thousands of dollars. And you gonna think you gonna want that money for yourself? Well, I'd rather just pay them. They're doing good here. Why add more people to it? Because so everybody in America is employed. That's why. See, the government didn't put pressure on these job sites to maximize the job site. Okay? They didn't put pressure on the job site to maximize the job site to create as many openings as humanly possible. Where you got people sweeping the parking lot, that's a job. Keep that parking lot, that's all you gotta do. You clean it up, you sit down. See, they don't want you to sit down. See, that's what I'm saying. That could be somebody's job. That, they might not be able to be the cash register person because they ain't good with money. But okay, but you good with nooks and crannies with keeping this parking lot clean. More cleaner than this guy on the cash register. For whatever reason, he just doesn't get it. This needs to be squeaky clean. You get it. Okay, so I'm going to put you on the parking lot. And every time I go out there, you got that thing swinging. That thing clean, polished. And so I'm going to make that a job. You ain't going to have to do nothing else. See, that's not the American way. It's too good to be true. I ain't got to do nothing else. No, you just got to clean up this parking lot. I'm going to pay you just like I pay you. You going to pay me just like him? Yeah. Because that represents my job, my job site. How good that looks. Some people see all of that, they don't even want to eat here. That's going to make more customers and make more money for us if it's more inviting. You got trash, you'll be surprised how many customers will be spooked, all this trash and bag, because they're going to think it's people hanging out in the parking lot. Particularly, they're going to think it's a lot of ratchet ghetto people. So we got all of this cleaned up. It's going to be more inviting. Think about it. They're going to want to sit out there with the kids. You see all this trash, you ain't want to sit out there with the kids. Oh, you're going to say, you're going to see all that trash out there. Oh, let's just go through the drive-thru. You know how many people think like that? But if it's inviting, I got some flowers. I get some fresh flowers out there. You know what I mean? I got a little scene. Oh, let's sit out here, baby. The flowers got her, didn't it? Let's sit out here, baby, with the kids for a little bit. Boom. Now that's their little outing. Now they come there every Saturday. Yeah, I like that. We enjoyed ourselves. Yeah, I did too, baby. I enjoyed my I did. No, a man chimed in like that. Yeah, I did too, baby. Now they coming out there every Saturday spending money with us because we just off the strength of the environment, the parking lot looking good. See, the boss understands this. So guess what? I'm gonna put somebody out there to clean this whole parking lot and make it clean. And we're gonna get more customers, I guarantee you, buddy. I guarantee you that. Now, how many establishments, how many restaurant establishments slack on that and stray away customers to other establishments? That's why everybody go through the drive-thru. Back in the day, people would sit down and eat a meal outside the restaurant, the fast food restaurant. They don't do that no more. The only time you're going to really do that if it's a high-quality place that got a little patio, because you know they're going to maintain it. And if they fall off, you going to get your food to go. Even if they fall off. And they wouldn't be falling off if they would create a job opening right there. The problem with America, the main problem is you don't want to, you want everybody to work for every dollar they get. That's the problem. You don't want it to be easy for them to get a paycheck. That's you don't treat us. That's a slave mentality. I want you to really work for this. You don't act like that. I want you to really work for this. Yeah, I'm gonna get you a job, but you're gonna work for it. You know some managers will tell you that. They got the nerve to tell you that. Yeah, it's a good job, but boy, you're gonna work. This is a good job. Oh, but you're gonna work, buddy. They will tell you that, and you ain't gonna say nothing, are you? Because you're so used to it. You're used to the mentality. The truth is, all these jobs should be jam-packed to where nobody ain't really got to work hard. We're just maintaining everything in America. But see, that's just too good. That's just too good, man. And see, people think about other things. Like, well, we'll be idle. So what? We'll be idle if we have 2 or 3 more workers. See, you so used to people cracking a whip on your back. We'll be idle, but we'll be maintaining this job too. We'll be idle, but this job will be maintained. This job site will be maintained. That's how you gotta think. Most employers and most people gonna think, well, even you ain't even used to being idle at a job. Well, what will we do if we have 3? You the one talking about it. You the one making people think like this. Well, if 3 more people on the job, we'll be just standing around. Don't sound bad to me. I'll just sit there and wait. wait for work. Wait for customers. That's right. We ain't got to talk to each other all the time. You learn the art of just standing and sitting there, just waiting. But see, they're not putting pressure on the employers to maximize the job site. That's a job. To send people to these everyday jobs and put pressure on them, that's a job right there. See how many jobs it is? A job to go to these everyday jobs and take inventory of everything that's going on. This guy has his job to do it. He get paid pretty decently, as you can imagine. He goes to a job site, check the scene. Okay, it could be more of a job over here. See that? We ain't never had that in America. It could be more. You know. Well, we just had one guy. We have Sam. Sam do that. Well, that could be 3 positions. I count 3 positions. This person really understands the science of it. He's really talented. He understands how to really maximize the job site. Where there's so many openings. There's not even room to make another opening. That's what you want. That's what you want. That's how you employ America. People complaining about it right now. And I guarantee you, if we go to these job sites, you're going to see opening after opening after opening. We're just so used to 2 and 3 workhorses running a whole job site. That's what we're used to. Me, myself, I used to work at the hospital. It was a 4-man job, and it was just me and this other dude doing it. But we was young. We didn't care. I should have asked for a raise up front. Well, I mean, on these other shifts, they got 4 people. You can't say it's because it's third shift, because the flow keeps coming in. People have all kind of accidents and everything at nighttime. So with the hospital particularly, you can't say it's just because it's third shift. No, not really. Not really. Not really. Me and this dude worked, just me and him. They cut that job site in half. There could have been 2 other people working with us to make it better for us. Easier. We was running around there breaking our neck. But we was young. We didn't care. I was in my 20s. I didn't care. When you're young like that, you might not even ask for a raise. That's how so many of you, that's how it was. Many of you have been on job sites the same way. You didn't care. You was working a job where it was more people required. How many? You at least one time worked in your job on a job site where there was more people required that actually was working there. Though, and then we'll say America ain't got no jobs. That's not the truth. The truth is they have not maximized the job site. That's what it is. I can go right down here, any job, and I can show you a job opening. I can show you something somebody could be doing. Now, the problem is nobody wants to pay that guy to do it. The problem is you want the money that you could pay him to do it, you want that for yourself. That's what it is. That's the truth. That's the truth. You want that money for yourself. That's all it is. Okay? And, so it's not that it's not no job openings. It's not that. It's that people want the money for themselves, which is greed. So it comes down to greed why there is no job openings. That's what it is. Because I can show you. I can maximize any job site. And there's 5 to 10 more jobs. Okay? They want you to also work for it, work hard for it. They don't want to pay people in America to stand around. That's too easy. That's how they're going to look at it. So it's this mentality that you got to work for this. You got to work hard. As opposed to an overall mentality that I want to employ everybody. The new mentality is we want to employ everybody. We ain't trying to just make everybody work hard. We want to just employ everybody to maintain a well-oiled machine workforce. That's what we want. All this trying to make everybody work hard for it and make them earn we already proved that in America. That time is gone. We already proved that. Everybody proved that it worked. That you worked for it. You definitely did. If you worked anywhere in America long enough, you worked for it. You know what it is to work for money. That era is gone. That's almost a slave era. Now we employ everyone. We maximize every job site. We pay people to maximize the job sites. We put pressure on these district managers, these CEOs, and everything in between to maximize your job site. You could have 3 or 4 or 5 more jobs. We counted 10 jobs you can have. 10 jobs, that's ridiculous. Well, that's what we saw. 10 jobs, I can't wait to get down there for you to show me 10 jobs. I can't wait for you to get down. I can't wait to get down there for you to show me 10 jobs on this job site. Well, we counted 1 right out there for the parking lot. You got vegetables you need cut up all the time. That's another position. You need to maintain the order of this whole overall cleanliness in making sure everything is in proper places and everything. That's a position. That's 3 already. And then you got different unique geographics about each job site, right? We notice also that you got these other parts of your environment that has to be maintained. These other rooms and everything. You got these things, these documents that come in, or let's just say it like that. I'm just making up stuff. You got these rooms where these documents come in and different things like that. That's a job position. Yeah, we got, well, we need, well, Sandy does all of that. No, well, no, we made another position. We made another position where this person comes in and does this, where Sandy ain't got to do this. And you go through the whole job site and you maximize everything. And also, we're going to put more than one person out there in the parking lot. We're going to put more than one person. We're going to put more than one person. And we're going to maximize this whole job position, this whole job site. It's going to be maximized. I can show you where people are barely hanging on. They know they need to hire somebody else. Everybody complaining about it, but they're not doing it. They're not doing it. They're not putting a sign in the window. We're hiring. Help needed. They're not doing it. That's what I'm saying. So many people, because of the greedy people, they just work a few people at these job sites and they keep the rest of the money. They pocket the rest of the money for themselves. That's how they like it. Think about it. If you're a CEO, you're going to try, what you're going to try to do is have less workers as possible. That's just common sense. You ain't going to hire a whole bunch of people if you don't have to. If the government don't put pressure on you to do so. We make positions all across the country for people to go and take inventory of these average everyday job sites. And can you imagine if we went up to corporate America, how far this could go, this whole mentality of maximizing the job site, where you go to all these different places where it gets more sophisticated. And you got all these different corporations, and we can maximize this job site and get more openings out of this one job, out of this one corporation. Can you imagine the possibility? But see, what stands in the way is the greed of the CEO, the district managers, the leaderships of these corporations and businesses, because they want to pay. It's common sense. They want to pay as less as possible to the community, and this guy want to pocket his money. If I can just work a couple people and keep it up and going, that's what I'm gonna do. All right, well, it's up and going over there with the. But we gotta say we provide you with the opportunity to even do this. It's almost like communism. We give you the opportunity here in America to even do this, what you're doing. And so progressive communism is we want you to give back to the community with a job opportunity. This is how you giving back instead of taking it out your pocket. We ain't gonna do it like that. Progressive communism is I'm gonna maximize the job site. You ain't gonna have this unless you give back to the community. We ain't gonna let you keep this establishment open if you do not meet a reasonable amount of openings. This is progressive communism, okay? It's not a dirty word. This is progressive communism. Now in progressive communism, I'm going to maximize the job site, and then you're going to disperse, instead of money, we as the government, we give you opportunity, right, to have a business, to even have a business. All we're doing, instead of taking it straight out of your money, we're maximizing the job site, your job site, to where there's more openings, to where you have to pay these people to do these job sites, these job positions, right? So that's what, instead of taking it straight out of your pocket, you are learning good humanity, right? To now understand we're employing everyone here. Communism teaches you humanity. It does. Instead of just taking this money, no. Now we gon', instead of taking it out your pocket, progressive communism is we gon' make you give money to the community through more job positions. That's what we gonna do. See, it's progressive communism. It ain't just, okay, we ain't gonna just shell it out. We gonna give people opportunities. They gonna work for it. Instead of, we gonna distribute the wealth evenly. There's more than one concept. Evenly is also, okay, you're a CEO, okay, we ain't gonna just take money and make you give it to people. But progressive communism is we gonna make you give more opportunities to the community. Woo! We gonna make you give more opportunities to the community. As a rich CEO. And what's wrong with that if you got good humanity? See, the problem is, man, let me tell you something. The problem is America does not have good humanity. That's been the problem. So while you're talking about jobs and money, and there's not no jobs, I can show you all across America where they have not maximized the job sites. They have not maximized the potential, the real potential of everyday jobs, because they want to work as less people as possible. That's their mentality. That's their mentality. That's what they want to do. That's common sense. So we can't work everybody right now. We can't work all the people. That's another reason why we maximize the job site, so we can get everybody working. And then once we maximize every job site, then we create new jobs. You're trying to create new jobs without maximizing the job sites that you already got. You can maximize the job sites that you already got first. Then make new jobs and create new jobs. That's backwards. You already got jobs right there. You already got openings right there that I see right there, but you're creating new jobs over here. But no new jobs at this job site. No maximized job site over here. But we gonna make new jobs over there. It's just people, it's just the government and people didn't take time. The chain of command didn't make, didn't put people in position to take inventory of these things and to maximize these things. It hasn't been people in place that has brought light to this and made it their business to maximize the job sites and create jobs for everybody. It's no one made it their job, no pun intended, to do this. That's what happened. That's what actually happened, bro. So so when you tell me it ain't no jobs in America, this is the kind of conversation you're gonna get. I know better than that. I'm too educated for it. I'm too smart for it. Okay? You gotta first maximize the job site first. And they not doing that, man. They could easily do it. That's what I'm saying. It ain't gonna hurt the CEO. It ain't gonna even hurt mom and pops. You gotta put a little pressure on the mom and pops too. Yeah, I mean, well, you trying to run a real business here, ain't you? You gotta put some pressure, a little pressure on them. Well, we see you can, this mom and pop, we get it. We get it, but you could have about 2 more people here. You could have about 2 more people here. Well, yeah. About 2 or 3 more people. You know what I'm saying? And cause you getting money off the community. You killing it. You get they taking all that soul food, all the soul food, they eating it, they loving it. You know what I'm saying? So you making money. That's what this guy's in this position gonna tell you. You're making money. Okay? We looked at everything. We looked at the numbers. We looked at how much money you bring in annually. You're making money. Okay? So based on that and the money you make, it wouldn't even hurt you to add 2 more positions at this job. America is giving you an opportunity to even work and make this money like you're making it. Okay? All we're asking is just to maximize the job site. That's all we're asking. Instead of taking money from you, because we're giving you the opportunity, instead of taking extra money from you, all we're doing is asking you to provide an opportunity for these Americans. That's all we're asking. That's all we're asking. See, that's progressive communism. That's what has to happen. All these big old jobs and ain't nobody on them. You go in, this big old building, this big old department store. You go in, there's 5 employees. Oh, here's the other one. You go to these grocery stores at nighttime, and they got like 2 aisles open. I know right here in New York, you done seen it. 2 aisles open, and you gotta sit there and wait because they rather not pay the people. When you can have one, I counted these like the trade fair jobs, the trade fair grocery stores here in New York. They always had only 2 aisles open. You could double that and make everything go smoother, where people don't even have to stand around. We got to stand around, and it's more aggravating. You know what I'm saying? When you're trying to have a comfortable flow, you going in there to avoid this, but you still got to stand in a line. because they done cut corners where it don't even go as fast as it should go. Make sense? Because they don't have nearly as many workers in there, so you still are jammed anyway, like as if it's daytime. But you're trying to avoid the crowd, but you're really not doing that. They can have 2 more aisles open, and everybody gets out of there real good and clean, buddy. Real good and clean. They ain't gonna do that. They're not gonna do it. They're gonna have 2 people. You got 5 aisles. The truth is, they should have them all open. That's a job. But see, they'll say, well, we don't really need that. But people really need a job. An employer is going to look at, well, I don't really need that. He going to come in and take inventory. Well, I don't really need that. But they really need a job. So communism teaches you humanity. Okay, they need a job, but you don't really want to pay nobody. But we giving you opportunity. We gave you an opportunity. So that's all we ask, is give and take. The take part is for us is that you employ a little more people. That's all. That's the problem. I can show you, that's a perfect example. I can show you all these jobs. And then even in daytime, I don't even know if I guess in daytime it's open. But hey, you might can add an aisle. You might can add another checkout aisle. And they done stop paying people for to work the cashier on these CVS's and all of that. Now you go check out. Oh, that's saving money, Oh, that's saving money. You go there, you can't even go to the cashier like you used to. Why you think they did that? Oh, we're being innovative. Well, aren't you a naive little squirrel? You're a naive little squirrel, ain't you? Listen, man. You know why they doing that? Because they pay less people. If I don't have anybody at the cash register and I just let you check out, why am I hire some other people at nighttime? I'm gonna let them do distributing and all of that and walking around. That's why they be sitting around idle sometimes at CVS. You see them standing around. That's okay. That's okay. I don't have a problem with that. Because the new mentality is we don't have a problem with people standing around. We don't got a problem with that. Right? We go on a job site, there should be people standing around, comfortable, ready, full of strength, not barely hanging on. But it would also be good if you have people at the cash register that when people don't want to really do all that clock out stuff, check out stuff. It's not that we can't do it. Sometimes it's tedious. Sometimes it doesn't go as we want it to go. And sometimes some people are just intoxicated, different things like that. Things on their mind. They just want you to come in and come out, not register everything. Now they done got you. They made you the customer and the person at the cash register. You realize that? They think it's innovative, but in actuality, they've made you the customer and the checkout guy. Okay, I'm the customer. Now I'm the checkout guy. Here we go. Now you the checkout guy. Okay, I bought my stuff. Now I'm the checkout guy. And you were struggling when they first made it, wasn't you? When they first made it, oh man, I got to do all of this, and you scanning items. Don't they? The cash register guy's supposed to be scanning items. You done became the customer and the guy at the cash register. That's what happened. And guess what, buddy? If you telling me they ain't paying less people, you must be naive. Of course they paying less people. Even if you see people running behind the cash register, there's still less money they paying people. I guarantee you. Absolutely. Absolutely. The deception is, oh, well, there's somebody right there. There's somebody right there. I guarantee you and I know they paying less people with them little checkouts. And you know that, don't you? Listen, you don't even got to think about it. Especially when you go all around the country, you apply this all around the country. They got all these checkouts, all these manual checkouts. They paying less people. That's the point. What you thought? Oh, it was innovative. That's what we all thought. Now think about it now. What you think now? They decided to pay less people. Let them check out their own stuff. Well, how can we get around this? Well, we can make machines where he doesn't have to. There is no recipient or clerk there to check out your stuff. You don't have to have him there. Well, how can he not be there? Well, we're gonna make a machine where he just checks out his own stuff. Oh, that's it. I think that's a good idea. It is a good idea too. I pay less people. Hey, you just check out your own stuff, buddy. Now I don't have to have 2 and 3 more employees at this job site, because now you're doing that work. You're doing his work. Now it's almost like, do I get paid? Should I get paid for this? Should I get paid? I just checked out this stuff. That's a position. You see what I'm saying? See, the bad part is, now here's the punchline. AI is stopping all these job positions. This is the bad part. And guess what, buddy? The CEO ain't gonna be paying nobody. He ain't gonna be paying AI, is he? Oh, he might pay to have it installed. Initially. He gonna pay to have it installed. He might pay a little fee every month for some extra AI stuff. I mean, I'm pretty sure. But guess what? You think AI is gonna get paid more? You think that bill's gonna be more than paying human beings? I guarantee you it ain't. See, AI is gonna be tempting for the CEO, the employer. He's gonna say, well, I can cut this, and you see where we're going with this, right? You see where we're going. The checkout already shows you, the manual checkout showing you where it's going. I can get rid of those positions and just add these computers, and you gonna do all of this. The computer's gonna take care of it, basically. And before you know it, look, the more time gonna go by, AI, if the Lord tarries, AI is gonna take all these job positions. See, that's the bad news. As soon as I give you a solution, here's the problem. Here's a new problem presenting itself. All that AI gonna be doing all this. That could be a job. AI, always look at AI in terms of this. That could be a human person doing that. That could be a human being doing this. On any job site, whatever it is, even in corporate America, any AI position. See, old school, that a person will be doing all that stuff manually. That will be a job position. To do this, to go take inventory of this. AI is taking inventory of everything now. See what I'm talking about? See what I'm talking about? And look, see, here's the punchline once again. You thought they were being innovative. Nope. AI cuts out human beings from jobs. That's what it do. You should have knew rich people making them AI. What you think they doing? Not having to pay human beings. That's what they doing. That's what it's all about. And you stuck on, oh, it's just so cool. Oh, okay. That's what the CEO was gonna say. Oh, okay. It's cool, ain't it? Yeah, it is cool, ain't it? Yeah, you're right. It's cool. Yeah, you're right. It's cool, ain't it? I guess it is, ain't it? Yeah, you're right. It's cool. You know their point? Their point is this. We gonna pay less people with this AI. With this AI, we gonna pay less people. That's our point. Think about it. As a CEO, what you think? You think he want the web? Now you get it. You think he want the job site looking innovative? You think that's what it's all about? Just bringing it in to look cyber. We just want to look up to date in cyber. We going for the cyber look. We going for this cyber look, right? You think that's what it's all about? AI in the job site is all about getting rid, downsizing the employee capacity. The amount of employees is downsizing the job positions. It's cutting the job positions. That's what it's doing. And it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. You can see it already happening. And once again, AI falls in the category of greed. Not innovation. See, the Jedi mind trick is, oh, this is so innovative. It's so innovative, right? Well, you're over it now, ain't you? You're over AI being innovative, right? Now you're back down to reality. You know what AI is all about? Now that you're back down to reality. After the initial thrill of AI, you know what it's all about? AI is all about cutting jobs at these job sites. I mean, I can even take you to a website where you paid this one guy to do all this stuff on the website. Now he ain't got to do that. Maintaining the website and all these major websites, now AI is doing all of that. And initially, this one guy was maintaining, he was the web maintainer, if you will, the website maintainer. you know what job I'm talking about. He's not doing that no more with AI. He's doing that? No, he's not doing it. I don't know what he's doing these days. The guy that used to maintain the maintenance at the websites, y'all know what I'm talking about. Well, who you think doing maintenance? You listen, you already cultured enough. Who AI is doing maintenance on the job. This guy had to do it manually back in the day. Think about it. Yeah, he did. Who you think doing it now? Who's doing it now? AI is doing it now. So see, that's where you at today. Nothing but greed, bro. That's all it is. And that's what the major problem is. Greed is always going to be the major problem. Greed is always going to be the major problem. You got to understand that. Greed is always going to be the major problem. As long as there's people that say, all right, well, now I can make robots. I can make robots to pay. I don't have to pay nobody. And guess what? I don't have to pay these robots no 401k. I don't have to do that. And then if you add that to the medical field, before you know it, nurses, RNs gonna be in trouble. They're gonna be in trouble because all you gotta do is put in all your information and whatever's going on with you, the RN doesn't have to run back and forth. They got all these machines to give you all the distribute everything you need. Now the RN is in trouble. The doctor even, this can go so far. AI, it can put everybody in trouble. AI can put everybody in trouble. Everybody. It can put everybody in trouble, man. AI can put everybody in trouble. It can almost put the cops in trouble. Think about it. The 911 operator, look at that position. AI finna get that. AI finna get that. Oh, listen, you don't really gotta have nobody manually on there. Think about it. Oh, I just called. Yeah, well, what's your problem? Now you're hearing AI. Well, I need an officer out here. What is your location? I'm at blah, blah, blah. Okay, we will be right there with you. All that information just came in. Boom. They might ask you to repeat it. Can you repeat that? Okay, now we have the full identification. You are at such and such time. Your complaint is ... They read it back to you. Is this correct? Yes. Okay, we will be there in 5 to 10 minutes. The 911 operators is the first that's going to be affected. Think about it. AI, you start understanding accents and all of that, southern accents. They download all of that information. Broken English, kind of making out broken English. They start doing all of that. When AI really starts understanding broken English, accents and all of that, it's over with, man. That's gonna break down all customer services. Don't you see how far this is going? Customer services and everything. All these people that do customer service, once they make AI sophisticated enough to understand broken English and slang and all of that, even slang, that's where it's going. If they refine it just a little more, man, it's over. Customer service for as far as America is absolutely over, buddy. And it's too tempting for these CEOs. Oh, if I can just put AI in there, man, I don't have to hire none of that. All that's gone. You know how much money that is? That's how he gonna look at it. That's how he or she gonna look at it. Look how much money that I can't. I gotta do that. I gotta do that. So you know, that's basically where we at, man. You know what I'm saying? That's basically where we at in America, man. That's the truth.